All right, guys, welcome back to the Gentleman's Bureau. This is episode 32. We have a special guest here, actually, in the same room as me. His name is Seth Cambron, and longtime friend of the Bureau. He's from Illinois, from Bureau. Seth, welcome to the podcast. How's it going, man?
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I watched a lot of episodes, finally on. I know you guys wanted to have me earlier, but technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on probably towards the beginning of our start time, but things happen.
So, first question that comes to mind, Seth, is it bright there?
Not too bad. It's kind of like overcast sometimes. The clouds go over, and then it's bright. Why?
No, I meant like in that room. Like, do you need to have sunglasses on right now?
No.
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can. Dude, I love this song. Everyone should listen to that song now.
Yes. I got the hat on because I'm bald, and the sunglasses are just part of the uniform.
He's insecure, guys. Just fucking leave him alone, Jay. God.
Well, I know you guys are gonna head out after this. Are you gonna go and get some Colorado ladies?
Well, as a married man, I have to say no. That is the gentleman's way. But Seth, on the other hand, is not married. He does have a girlfriend, so probably.
You're very committed relationship.
Yeah.
Seth with a girlfriend. Shit, I didn't know.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Also,
Yeah, she's cute.
She's cute. Oh, well, that's a plus.
Finally,
She could be a wildebeest.
I finally got a winner.
Finally got a winner. It sounds like everything before that was like a pig lady, fucking hairy, like munchkin.
Well,
Hey, we're not talking about
Yeah.
kids not like that.
I don't know how you got that so accurate, but
Awesome.
I don't like that phrasing either. Like, it insinuates that Seth's the prize that somebody else won. Like, that's the opposite.
Yeah. Well,
low prize, but it's like the low prize when you hit a dart with a balloon. It's like the little prizes and the big ones. I'm like, the little one. The participation one.
that's right.
Your participation award. Got it.
Yeah.
So, Seth flew out on Thursday of this last week, and he flies out Thursday. If he doesn't change it to Wednesday, he might change it to Wednesday due to a calling.
My guard switched up. Instead of a 2-day drill, it's now a 3-day drill, and I don't want to do all-nighter through the weekend, so I might switch my flight earlier.
Yeah. So, but we've just been hanging out, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Today was pretty crazy. We saw a fucking accident right in front of us. It was wild. Like, it didn't end with the accident either. Like, so, Seth, you can probably describe it better. I was driving.
Yeah, so the part that he didn't see was two guys there full of road rage. And there was an Outback guy. He pulled on the left side of the mountain. And the mountain was like, there was a butte coming out, and on a sharp curve, he passed on the left side, right in front of that little butte, and then went in front of these two cars, slammed on his brakes, and then I told Blaine, "Oh crap, watch out!" And as soon as I said that, the car right behind him slammed on the brakes, and the car behind him just bulldozed in.
Damn.
The hood was all curved up; they couldn't see through the hood, and I smelled some burning stuff. And then Lane and his friend, we went chasing after the guy, and he knows better because he was driving.
Well, yeah. So basically, all I saw was the wreck, but I didn't see what happened before the wreck. But it was wild. It was like, apparently, like Seth just told you, that there was road rage. I wasn't seeing it. I was looking at the beautiful mountain view, and luckily I was a couple car lengths behind all of this, but I wasn't in the same lane, so I slowed down. And my buddy was in front of me because he's kind of he knows the area better. He's given us kind of a tour. We've never been to. We went to Estes Park, and so basically, like I saw my buddy go around. Like he was after the guy that ran away. Like, because it basically involved 3 cars. The 2 that the one that piled into the one, and then the guy that slammed on his brakes that got away to cause the accident. So that guy just sped off, and I guess my buddy, his rationalization was like, "No, fuck that guy. I'm gonna go stop him. And I had a slightly faster car, so I fucking boom went around and got in front of the guy. Maybe made a hand gesture or two. Got in front of his car, slowed down, and then he tried to get in the other lane. I got in that lane, slowed down. So we slowed him down enough, and then I finally was like, my buddy caught up to me, and I was like, let's see what he wants to do. So I was like, kind of see what he wanted to do, and then we let the guy go, and we started chasing him, like, because if you run away from an accident that you caused, that's a felony. Well, if there's medical damage, if there's a like any serious medical issues, like broken bones or anything like that, that you're a felon, dude. So we pursued this guy, and he multiple times tried to evade. And good thing we had two cars, because we ended up trapping him, basically, because he pulled off into this dirt road, and I pulled in, or my buddy pulled in, just chasing his ass, and then I pulled in, and it was like a O shape. So my buddy was right there, he was in the middle, and then I pulled in blocking, and I got out of the car, and we were just like, dude, you're fucked. Like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, just basically, like, you can't run away from shit that you caused. Like, that's fucked up. Like, you just caused a major accident. I hope you know that. Like, all over your stupid road rage. And the kid was like, first he said it was a deer. He was like, there was a deer in the road. I had to get out of the way. And we're like, oh yeah, we didn't see no deer. And then he said, ground squirrels. There's ground squirrels. I was like, where's this guy getting this shit? And I told him. He got back in his car. He was going back to get in his car. He sat in his car, and he had his window cracked. And I was like, you leave, you're fucked. And he was like, whatever, man. And he like sped off, all like nervous and shit. And then he was just like trying to get away from us. And then we eventually we just kept going. And then we pull off. We see him pull off again. It's just some random road. We're like, maybe he lives there. Fuck him. Like, we had already, we were making contact with the police. And so we stop at this little like visitor place where you can take a photo. Like, that's the Spark. Cool. Happy memories for the family. And so then I'm like, it's us getting a picture or whatever. And then I like just so happened to look on the road, and there he goes. He passes us again. So he wanted to like lose us again. And I was like, there that motherfucker is again. And so we went and chased him down again. And then by that time the ambulance has already passed us and headed towards the wreck. But it was wild. I'd never seen a wreck like it. Like, it was just like bam right into the back of that car. I was like, fuck. And it's just a shame, man. Like, people causing accidents like that over stupid shit, man. Like, if you're looking at like such a beautiful mountain, why would you be? Man, you got some other personal issue if you're worried about other drivers, like road rage, shit like that. Like I'm over here like looking at this beautiful view, and like you're over here like fucking around. Like, I don't get it, but
I mean, are we petty enough to put a bolo out? Because he escaped the cops. We didn't see him get pulled over. He did escape. I got his license. Should we give a bullet out to his friends and family to turn yourself in where you're getting a felon?
Yeah, you need to. Come on, that's ridiculous. At the same time, guys, come on. What if that guy had a gun? It is Colorado. Like,
what if I had a gun?
I know you're carrying all the time, but at the same time, I'm just saying.
He was like he looked like a guy who wouldn't have a gun.
Yeah, he was
He had a Hillary
probably
Clinton for life.
Same age or younger than
car.
same age or younger than us, and he kind of looked scared when we all confronted him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he knew he fucked up. Like, he knew, but it was just like the severity of it was like, you don't know how bad you fucked up, but like that you probably like you could have killed someone, dude. And it was just like, I don't know.
Well, like, you gave his license plate to the authorities, right?
Yeah, but I called. I couldn't get through to the non-emergency, so I called 911 and I was like, "This is an emergency." And I told them information, and they were asking me where it was. I'm like, "This is my first time in Colorado," so I was giving the best I could from like point A to point B, somewhere in the middle. And as soon as I did that, like 5 minutes later, not even, we just saw like we just going past us.
Ambulances.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a day.
What a day.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then after that, we just went to Stanley Hotel. if you guys may know it as like the most haunted place in America. It's like where The Shining was. Well, apparently it was based off of The Shining. So the cast they were too scared. They got too weirded out to stay in the hotel. So they actually filmed it in another hotel. But that's the hotel it's based off of. It's The Shining, and they have tours and everything of the hotel, and like not to be like weird or anything, but I did get a weird vibe when I went there.
Oh,
It
really?
was weird. Yeah. I don't know.
What about you, Seth? Was it weird for you?
Not really too weird. I heard music playing upstairs, but it kind of seemed like a stage type of thing. It sounded like a ballroom with like you could hear like footsteps. It was kind of bassy. So I don't know if it was part of the aesthetic or if it was really haunted. But you can think what you want when you go in there. If you go in with an open mind, it probably is haunted.
That's
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You segued so fast I didn't get a chance to like say my piece. Like,
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
so like, I was actually involved in a hit and run once. I was going back and forth to see my girlfriend in Spring Valley, and on the way,
Don't believe
from
it.
her
Girlfriend.
house- It was in high school.
Oh,
On the way, like from her house out of Spring Valley toward like my
She
house.
was in a different school. You don't know her.
Yeah. She was out of state at the time. You wouldn't know her name.
All right. Say your
All right,
piece.
Jen.
Anyway, I reached for my hat on the passenger seat because my hair kept falling in my eyes, and then I just kept driving. Thought I heard like a rock hit the side of my car. I was like, "Oh, Christ! I hope there's not a scratch." And I kept driving, and then I stopped at Casey's, get a couple Powerades, get back on the road, keep driving, get pulled over. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "I think you were involved in the hit and run." And I was like, "What?" And he's looking all over my car, trying to find like evidence of like an accident. I was like, what? And like he was like, "Yeah, apparently you hit a car and somebody called you in." I was like, "What the hell?" So we drive past the car. I had knocked its fucking mirror off. Like not even all the way. Like I just kind of like it was just sitting there, like just against the car. Like I just barely tapped it, and it was like that was it. When I went by it again after they like released me, because I just paid them like $50 for the mirror. As I drove past it later, like 2-3 hours later, because it took fucking forever, they had already duct taped it back on. And here's the best part: I knew this car. I saw this car every time because it was bright yellow with like a black mustache on it. And when I went by it and they had duct taped it back on, they used yellow duct tape with fucking black mustaches on it.
God damn it.
Did you ever
And
see
I used to always be like, "Dope car," and now I drive by it, I'm like, "Fucking piece of shit."
Did they ever fix the mirror or was it just update?
Dude, I haven't been there in a very long time. I don't know.
I remember, I guess since we're talking about hit and runs, let me tell you, my wife, I let her use my car to like drive around every once in a while.
Yeah, first mistake.
Yeah. No.
Nothing against
so
Asian drivers or female Asian drivers. I'm just.
I got a twofer on that one, huh?
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
Double whammy.
Double
No,
whammy.
but she was totally cool. What ended up happening though is she was pulling out of a parking space and somebody had ran into her, knocked their entire bumper off, and like messed up something else. But my car was totally fine. I was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" That guy just took off, left his bumper, and just peeled out. So she's looking around the car. She's like, "I don't know what to do." She's calling me. I was like, "Is the car okay? Like, send me a picture, make sure everything's good." And she does that. And I was like, "I really don't care then. Take his bumper and just throw it away." Like, he lost a bumper and he took off. I don't care. Like, I was like, forget about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have ran off, but at the same time, if I'm fine, I'm not gonna call somebody.
Yeah, like whose fault was it? Because like I had something like now that we're talking about hit and runs, I had to hit and run. I was on a
Well,
motorcycle.
with that one, I feel like it was his fault, but it could have been my wife. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it, but she was just talking about she was pulling out of like those parallel parking spaces. They're like all over Champaign. So Illinois, for the viewers, Champaign, Illinois is full of parallel parking with like pay to park shit. Well, her time meter was up and she's pulling out, and this dude just like flies past her and like smacks into her. Or just a little tip at the front of the car. And some reason his bumper
Just the tip.
Just that. How many times I've heard that?
You heard that?
Oh man, Mark. Can't tell you how many times.
But yeah, feel like it could be her fault, but I don't want to.
What was that?
Tell her.
I didn't hear that. You said what? A little louder.
Nope. No, take your face.
You just see like a spatula come flying
Yeah.
out of the back of the head.
No, it'd be chopsticks, bro.
She has her spidey sense go off. But
Damn straight.
my my hit and run. I was on a motorcycle and I was in this Kiwani, and everybody knows the gas station when you say it. But I was coming up, and it's a really wide one-lane road. So this lady has her left turn signal on. So I'm like, okay, I can scoot by on the right. So I gun it, go by the right, and as soon as I get to her front tire, she cranks it right, hits my back tire, flings me off, and my bike was a Vulcan 2000. It's like 950 pounds soaking wet. So it flung me off, but it had enough weight and gyroscopic motion to keep itself up and ghost rode into someone's yard, flipped, bent my handlebars, knocked my tank off. And the lady was like, "Why did you pass me?" I'm like, "Well, you had left turn signal on." And she's like, "Yeah." and I'm like, "It's kind of my fault too, because I shouldn't have passed." And I'm like, "Do you want to call the cops?" And she's like, "No, not really, because like if you hit a motorcyclist, it's gonna like double your insurance." And I was like, "I don't want this on my insurance either." And so some guy came by. He's like, "Help me put my tank back on, put the tubes back on, didn't lose too many fuel." And then I was like, "Are you good?" And she's like, "Yeah." I bent her bumper. I had some scratches and buffs on my bike, and we just took off. Neither of us wanted our insurance.
Yeah, congratulations, Seth. You just told the whole world what that you were involved in it.
Oh,
bro.
dude, that's
Seth, your phone's
I'm just
ringing. Your
fucking with
insurance agency is calling.
statute of limitations. That was.
I'm just happy you didn't get
What is
hurt.
the statute for that? What's the statute of limitations? Probably like 3 years, 4 years. Yeah.
60,000
Yeah, thank God.
years.
Thank God there's statutes of limitations, because I would be in jail right now. Probably. A lot of wild shit I used to do. But,
Oh god.
yeah.
What's the statute of limitations on murder?
I think it's 20 years.
30. Yeah, maybe 20? Thought it was 30. Doesn't it depend on the state? Each state has a statute. Unless it's federally.
That doesn't sound like a good thing. Like murder shouldn't happen.
I wanna kill someone in Louisiana because it's only 15-year statute of limitations as opposed to.
I know from my podcast I watch, it stops if you leave the country. So when you leave the country, your statute of limitations stops. So if you come back in 10 years, say the law is 10 years. If you come back in 11 years, it's only been 1 year in the eyes of the law.
Nice. So you should just, if you're gonna kill somebody and leave the country, just leave permanently.
We're not advising this on this channel, but yes.
Yeah. Well, Jed, Mark, how have you guys been anyways? I mean, we didn't really ask you guys. What's been going on in you guys' neck of the woods? Or neck of the shores, Mark?
Oh, sandy beaches, sunny. It's starting to get rainy season actually. So it's like cooled down to about like 70 every day. Pretty nice.
Oh no. It's terrible.
Tsunami!
Not as of late. Like, we're not really getting typhoons. The Philippines got butt fucked by a huge typhoon. It was ridiculous. Bad choice of words, but yeah. But because they got ass raped by a huge typhoon.
Yeah, that's a better choice of words. Better choice of words than mine.
You were great.
He said, butt fuck. Ass rape, he changed it to ass rape. On the Gentleman's Bureau. This is quality you get, folks. Continue.
So we just got it. We ended up getting a whole bunch of like really nice, cool weather out of that. So thank you, Philippines. You're taking one for the team. Getting sodomized for everybody
That's
else's.
the bright side to everything, right?
Yeah, that's true. And we only had like a little bit of rain and just like a lot of overcast and like cool, really cool breeze.
Yeah.
Hard life, man.
Small things in life you appreciate a lot.
So my girlfriend says.
Yeah. It snowed here like 2 days ago.
Oh God.
Oh, it snowed there 2 days ago? Oh, must be terrible.
I flew in when it was snowing, and I hate flying to begin with. And like we came in, and I felt like we were going left or right. Like we probably weren't, but I was white knuckling.
Like sideways?
Yeah, well, like it felt like he was like when he landed, he went.
Well, that's how they have to.
that.
They sometimes have to land like not like that, but like. Yeah.
Like Tokyo Drift the plane in sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it
With
felt
the
like. he was
headwinds and
doing.
shit. Yeah, he might have actually done that.
I've seen that like in Hong Kong. There was like a private jet that like landed basically sideways. It was crazy. I was watching a couple videos on it, and all I could think of is like, if you're the passenger in that plane, like, there's nothing. The idea is like, I'm dead. This
Yeah.
I step out. It's fucking hell or heaven, and yeah.
Nah. You barely even notice.
I showed Seth Lucifer whenever, because he never heard of the Denver airport conspiracy at all.
Oh.
And I showed him Lucifer, and he's like, "That's kind of cool." And then he's like, "Oh, that's fucking deep. That's scary." I was like, "Dude, it's wicked. It's wicked."
Didn't we cover the Denver conspiracy?
Sure did.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
How
like,
did you not hear about it then, Seth?
"Yeah, Seth. It's weird. You say you watch our show, Ed. Why are you lying? Why are you lying?"
You know, I do the best what I can to support my buddies, but it's not enough. It's never enough, is it?
No, it's never enough.
More.
We're hungry.
Well,
Like a
that sucks about the snow, though, guys. I mean, rough
It's not bad. It's all melted now, so that's like the weather changes here in like 10 minutes. Like, you don't like the weather? Wait 10 minutes. Boom.
Everybody says that though, like literally.
Yeah, but they're, I agree. They've said it a million times, but when you get here, it's truly that's what it is.
I mean, for the fog, yeah, but we haven't really got any rain, but it's been pretty consistent so far.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Seth, you were, just to segue out of this very harshly, you were in the National Guard. You were deployed to a certain location during COVID times, right?
I don't want to know stolen valor. It was in-state deployment.
Okay. Can you tell us about, I don't know, just tell us what you want to tell us about it.
Tell us what you want to tell us, and then see if you can answer some questions that we're going to have for sure.
Okay. So when COVID scare first started, immediately every unit got I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a 24-hour notice. You have to have your bags packed, be ready to go. And it was about, I can't tell the story, I'm still in. So I was on the first iteration to go, and then it took about 2 months to go, and we got our 3-day notice to go to the place, and it was a drive-in. It was one of the first tent drive-through setups, and we got there, and we were kind of thrown in the water, like the deep end, because it's never been done before. We've never had COVID tests. We've never had to put up tents and have rules right away. So it was kind of like make it up as you go and do what works. And we did testing with we did 600 people a day, and we handed out all the papers. Everyone was in line by 8 a.m. 600 cars in line by 8 a.m. We opened at 8 a.m. So the first guy that was there, for the first week, there would be always someone who said they got there at 4 a.m. Because we'd always have to wake him up and be like, "What's up, dude?" And then, so I was at the first. So how it went was there was a long driveway basically, and I was the first people. I would write down numbers on the cars, tell how many people are in there, what they want, and then since we didn't know anything from the uppers, they said only people who have symptoms can get tested. And so then it was kind of like on our end, we had to be like, hey, but do you have any symptoms? Like, why are you coming here to get tested? And they'd be like, I just want to get tested for precautions. And we're like, so you got a cough, right? I'm like, yeah, I got a cough. And that actually helps people get through the line of the, like, because people just want to get tested. So we helped them out on that end. And then there was a lot of, like, not military officials, but people who thought they were important and got through the lines a lot faster. And they'd see maybe their customers or voters watch them pass the entire 600-person line. Well, actually, it'd be like 900-person line, and we'd have to tell people, go car by car, you can't test, you can't test, you can't test. And they would, the people who got to skip, they got to skip all the lines and go in whenever they wanted. And then it kind of got to be a novelty around the area. There was this lady that would get tested every second day. We knew her by name. She was really nice. She was like, I just want to get tested. I'm worried. I want to see my family. I want to do everything I want to. And that was back when the conspiracies about COVID wasn't big, because even I was scared about COVID. Like, you don't know it. Like, you don't know any of the negatives. Like, pretty much everyone that is a skeptic now, even if they lie, they were scared of it when it first came out. Because, like, it's just, and then, I'm trying to think of what else.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so the number of tests that were done, right? So, but this is kind of, that's not really a question, it's more of a statement. You said that, you know, you kind of were like, you got a cough, don't you? And they're like, oh, yeah, I got a cough, because they just wanted to get tested. In a sense, that boosts the numbers of tests, but not the number of symptomatic tests, right?
So when we talked about uppers with that, it was kind of, everyone has a cough. Like, you can cough, and like, so
Right.
happens.
Right.
Yeah. So they're not lying. They have a cough. They might just, and if they lie to us, we're not going to investigate it.
Yeah, so it's kind of
I get
boosted the test numbers in a way. So like that makes sense when they always talked about the number of tests being done. You know, it's like, yeah, well, of course everyone wants to get tested. Why wouldn't they?
And this is just conspiracy. This isn't from any of the National Guard stuff. You can't isolate anything. Me and Lane watched a video on that. If you can't isolate what's wrong, say I put it into the perspective of, if there's 100 cars you're looking at, and you're trying to find the red Honda Civic from 10 miles away, that's what you're doing in a microscope or whatever they do. If you can't find that Honda Civic, but you know, and there's a cluster, there's a Honda Civic in every cluster, you're just going to wipe that whole cluster out, or you're going to see the Honda Civic, but you're not going to, like, that's what COVID is right now. If they see a Honda Civic in 100 cars, you get tested positive. Then everyone was coming back positive. And because people come through the lines again and again, and they said they get tested positive one day, and negative the next, and positive the next.
Wow, that's crazy. I think I talked about it on the podcast with my grandma. She knows somebody that he got in line. He gave them all of their information, and then he decided, oh, I'm all right. I don't need to, like, I have shit to do. He left the line. He got a call back that he was positive. And he said, how's that possible? I never took a test. Like, so this is kind of the shit that, and yeah, I talked about that a long time ago, and, you know, back when this shit first was popping off, right? But, I don't know, I just think it's fucking weird how all that panned out, and it's still affecting us today. Like, it's been over a year, and we're still doing this shit, man. It's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing anymore? It's like,
I can also talk about a little bit. Did I cut you off, Lane? Are you still talking?
no.
So I can talk a little bit about, because everyone video recorded when they went through lines, so it's public knowledge by now. So what we did was in the first 2-3 weeks, probably a month, we would give them the little tester, the little nose swab. We would tell them to crack their window and slide it to them, and they would test themselves. And so how good or swab you got or deep you got, was how accurate your test could have been. And then one time, a group of us left the place to go special test a group of people, and it's kind of doesn't really matter, but it's kind of a funny story. So we told the people you have to test yourself, and you take a package up, take the swab out of the package, put it in your nose, and twirl it, and then take it out and twirl it again in the other nostril. And so there was this time where we went to that place, and we told the guy or girl or whatever they choose to be referred to as, put it in your nose and twirl. And what he did, I just thought that was hilarious. At the time, being sleep deprived, that was the funniest thing I saw in my entire life.
Wonderful. Oh my god. But at the same time, those people are like trusting you with everything, so they're like, I'll do whatever. You know, they don't know what's going on. That's great. Oh god, the amount of power you had right there, that moment.
Silence just on your nose.
They might have done it a little bit extra long just to see if they'd keep going. Oh yeah, and the swabs. I have a lot to talk about this because it's passed and it's been public knowledge for a while. So the first packages that we got to test, there was never a COVID test before. So what we got were expired, not expired. They were surplus urethral swabs, and that's what people. They weren't like they never were put in a penis before. So they were fresh urethral swabs that they would use to in the nose, out the nose, in the nose, and then put it in a little capsule and send it off. So the first little bit were urethral swabs, and they said they were just the same.
Don't they have to like quality test those before they ship them out?
That's above my pay grade.
I like
you gotta make sure it's gonna work, right?
Well, okay.
I mean, when you think
have
about
you guys
it,
ever had one?
it's not. Yeah, I had to get tested twice. To be able to leave, I had to get tested, and then to go into quarantine, I had to get tested. So I had to do two weeks minimum quarantine, and as soon as we got our notification that we were pass or fail, we got to go. So I only spent 2 days in quarantine. On the third day, I got to leave.
Okay. I recently had a COVID test. I had one before, but it was like where the doctor actually does it. I was at the hospital, and I think that was like the early thing of it or whatever. I just had a cough. It was nothing. But recently, like I went to one of the COVID centers here in Japan where they're testing everybody, and then like you get your test results back in like 3 days and all this blah blah blah. Because my coworker had come down with COVID. Now he's in quarantine, but with that, yeah, they were using some sort of swab, and you had to like have so much spit or whatever. So you had like one swab, and then you take another swab and all that stuff in this container, and it was like I knew the swabs were like for another thing, but they were like repurposing them too. So I don't think like necessarily it matters like what swab they were using, but it's the fact of like they need something to collect the DNA to like test it, right?
Yeah. So what we did. Well, I didn't. I wasn't a medic when I was there. Like we swapped jobs and swap, and it was kind of like if they didn't pull out a booger, you had to redo it.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Well,
It was the first time. Like we didn't know how much mucus would work, so it was like pull out a booger.
Pull out a booger. Dirt.
You ever just have a farmer walk up and be like, "I got you, man."
Yeah.
There you go.
We had people, farmers come through in these massive jacked up trucks, and we had to lift the tent while they come in and put it back down.
He's climbing up.
But the easiest thing would have been is just send them around the tent, but it wasn't sterile. So
yeah. Now that we know more, do you think that there's anything that like seems a little ridiculous that you were doing out there in the field, or maybe that's not the word you want to use, Or is there something like you want to, I guess, say as far as like that you're glad that we changed already because we know more about like what's going on and like the process and handling all these things?
So, with that question, I would say back then would be.
Wait. Actually, yeah. Go ahead.
What the fuck was that?
Back then,
What the fuck was that?
it was kind of. I'd rather go back to that because by the time I did, because COVID first started and then the lockdown, even Florida shut down. By the time I started doing the COVID test, people who wanted to open up opened up. The states that wanted to be open were opened, and it wasn't too much crazy rules. Like even the place I was at, we could still go to Walmart, and then there's still people not wearing masks. Even back then in the beginning, there was even more non-mask people back then, and now the scare right now is way worse than it first started.
Right, which is like.
And so I would rather go back to that. Not the first couple of months of COVID, because even back then I was kind of scared because I went on vacation, and I came back to stay with a buddy, so I wouldn't give my dad or my family COVID because even I was worried about it because I think all of you guys were too. Like when you first you seeing all this stuff, bull crap.
I really wasn't.
Like when
I was
news
worried
you're
because
hearing-
I'm so close to China and like they
Yeah.
were the
Like when the
thrown it
only
in.
news you're hearing is like how many people are dying in China, and then we saw these videos of all these machines building a hospital in like 10 days. You're like, oh crap, this must be real. Like even I was scared then. So not the first couple months, but I would rather have us go back to like 3 months after COVID came to America, because it was even more lenient then. It was if you wanted to wear a mask, wear it, and then but now it's like all forced. And
it
there's
seems
more
very
people who are afraid of it now than when it first came out.
Propaganda, man. It's had time to settle in.
Right. Well, who said it? Like, if you trade liberty for a little bit of safety, you deserve neither. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's happening. Like because there's such an overreach with government officials anymore. It's like they've overstepped their boundaries in a big way, and I don't see that ever dying down. I mean, I just don't. I mean, we hear about it all the time, like rules for thee, but not for me. Like Governor Whitmer, right, from Michigan, she was like, "Don't go to Florida. Like none of you people, none of my constituents better go to Florida for spring break." But she just got back from a long vacation in Florida, so it's like, at what point are you gonna? It's rules for thee, but not for me.
And I'd like to add on to my comment that I gave to Mark. In a world of COVID, I would rather have 3 months after COVID started or hit America. But in an ideal world, I'd rather have before COVID started, obviously. But in a world where we have to live in COVID, I'd rather have it the 3 or 4 months afterwards and then die off after that instead of not ramp up with fake tests and stuff.
Yeah, like with all the outrage that's going on.
It's like people don't understand. Go ahead, Mark.
And the other thing, another big thing, especially since you were in the Guard, and if you don't want to talk about it, we won't. But there was a lot of riots during the same time. Did you? If you can't talk about it, don't say anything. Don't. I mean, maybe you didn't even do anything. I just want to say, ask. Did you have to, I guess, provide backup to law enforcement and things like that with the Guard because we had so much unrest being with Chicago, Illinois?
So since I was already activated for one mission, they didn't want to lose us for COVID. So they already had infantry units in the Guard on a 24-hour standby. So those guys got initiated instead of us having to change jobs. And we're not infantry, we're truck drivers doing COVID tests. So put 2 and 2 together. But they had the infantry and MPs come out and do that stuff. And in our hotel, so we had, they obviously knew our military trucks were there, and we'd have people driving by. So we had our 2 semis block the entrance to military parking that we were all parked at, and so people couldn't do driving by and taking pictures. And the first, I forgot about the story. The first day we got there, we were setting up, and there was a guy on Facebook Live saying, "Military's here to take your wives, take your kids," basically. And it was an hour and a half live, and we all watched it. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen, because it's just these guys, like, they brought the military semis. They're here to get you. You better be ready. And like, we were watching it, looking at the dude recording us. And where was I on before that? Oh yeah, for the riots. The place we were staying at, everybody knew we were there. So when the riots started happening, we actually got a mob. We locked the doors, padlocked them. And this hotel looked like what they boarded up. So we boarded up, and we had one guy with a weapon, not military, but he was a civilian and wanted to help us. So we were told to stay up in our rooms and act like we're not here when all of our vehicles are out back. And the mob that came, they're like, "We have reservations for this hotel, we need to let in." And they're like, "You're lying, no." And there's not reservation for 30 of you guys. And so they were really trying to get in. Nothing was broken, but they were really trying to get in. So,
at any point did you fear that they would get in and try to harm you guys?
Oh yeah, they came to harm us.
Yeah. So you were living with that, I don't know, in the back of your head, like you were okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, if you, like anyone that can say, you put on the uniform, there's going to be 50% people like you, 50% people don't. I mean,
I get that, yeah.
And then after the riots hit, we had minimum 3 cops at all times, 1 at my station and 2 at the tent. And so that felt a lot better, because like, I'm not a fighter. I know how to handle myself in a small scrap as long as I got a buddy running to help. But I definitely didn't want to get in a fight. And knowing we had cops there, and those were the guys that had been on the force, because we talked to them, and we actually grilled out with them some days. They were on the force for 10 plus years, so like, they knew how to handle a bad interaction.
All right. Well, I'm glad nothing came of that. You're fine, and you're still chugging along right now. You're almost out. You were talking about earlier. Thank you for what you've done. We appreciate all of our veterans here on the Gentlemen's Bureau.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks.
We love you, Lane. Seth, you're just slightly better. That's all.
Yeah, the Guard is they put their heart and soul into every weekend that they do, and active duty is nothing.
we active duty time to get my GI Bill, so I got another 4 years at 40%.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's pretty good.
I mean, you could be like, what is it though? Like, everybody gives the Guards kind of shit or whatever, but the Coast Guard gets a shit ton of like crap, but they have the most trigger time because they're constantly fighting with like cartel ships trying to come in and like shit like that.
Yeah, they have some fun toys.
If you like to shoot at people.
So technically, if you want to get by the bare bones definition of what is military, Coast Guard isn't military. Because military has to be able to go into foreign land. Coast Guard cannot leave the U.S. waters. Maybe they can go into international waters to do rescues, but they cannot leave international waters to start a war or fight in a war. So by definition, they are not military. In my opinion, they are, but that's the argument of why people give them so much crap.
That, and you don't hear shit. Like, you really don't unless you go look for it.
Yeah. Well, if you want to be safe, go and do the Coast Guard, I guess.
Well, I'm glad we have the Coast Guard, because if I ever do plan on going to cruise, I want them there if something starts sinking.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I know, like I said before, they have like a lot of trigger time because just dealing with cartels. Some of the worst people,
Yeah.
I mean, they're the people that take the cues from those terrorist organizations overseas about like how to fight, coming up from Mexico or other South American countries, bringing illegal drugs and everything into the country, destroying families, and Coast Guard's there to fight against that. So
I don't think we have too much of a pirate problem, do we? It's more of smuggling.
no, pirates, wooden pistols just don't work anymore. So
No, I mean like legit pirates. There's still legit pirates in the what is it? The
Somalia.
In the Caribbean? Yeah. Those
Yeah.
damn Pirates of the Caribbean.
no, I get what you're
German
saying. Yeah,
pirates,
there's
like,
not really pirate
in America
problems. It's
is-
mostly smuggling and
yeah.
like
Fucking Captain Jackson.
people and goods. So
All I know is I don't ever want to go to Davy Jones' locker.
God damn it. I wonder if you would go over to Somalia and start talking about like all this old pirate. They're just like, get out of here, you.
Give them their old
great.
tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the cannons? We don't even have fucking cannons. This AK's not gonna do shit.
Walk the plank. What? We don't even have a plank on this
Well,
boat.
they do pirate raids on little dinghies. If you do walk the plank, you're falling 2 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still in the water, man.
Yeah.
But you're 2 feet up, you can just grab the side.
Fair
I know
enough.
they were talking about like doesn't the Coast Guard also patrol a lot of swamp lands in the south? So I bet that has to be awful. Like,
Oh yeah,
there's
because they
more
would like
danger than
airdrop
just
airdrop shit out in the swamp.
Yeah.
Like Apple airdrop.
Nice pity laugh, Mark. I appreciate that.
Yeah, right. He does a
One
lot.
thing that surprised me, one thing that surprised me about like living up here in Wisconsin, like we have Coast Guard like right there in Kenosha. I was like, what coast are they guarding? And I realized, oh wait, yeah, Canada, that's a coast.
I didn't know the Coast Guard was a mainland, like the South Marks. I didn't know that.
In the Great Lakes, like helping ships or something.
No,
I think that's what it most probably is just helping out ships in the Great Lakes and stuff. But yeah,
Cracking down on fishermen taking too many fish out, probably.
like yeah,
Damn it.
hey sir, if you consume that many fish, you're gonna get so much radiation. We need you to put some back.
Exactly. Or what is it, like heavy metals are a big problem
Yeah.
with all the fish
Put them in
consumption.
the Iron Maiden. Have you guys seen Bill and Ted?
Yeah, Bill and Ted's an amazing.
I haven't seen
like,
the new one
which
yet.
one?
I love it.
I haven't seen the newest one, but yeah, Bill and Ted, and then Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, number 2.
Don't fear the Reaper. Love that.
Guys, I couldn't believe this, but you guys all know Patrick, right?
Yeah, Patty.
Yeah, he hasn't seen those movies. I thought for sure he would have and loved them.
I mean, you had to go drive to go see the movies.
Poor Patty.
Me and him, like for in high school when I was working at Belluccio's at McDonald's, it's like every weekend I would have like one day off, and I'd be like, I'd just go pick up Patrick, and we'd drive to Peru, we'd get Steak and Shake, and then just go watch a movie like every weekend for like 2-3 months. It was awesome.
I used to give Patrick like every time I'd see him, I'd give him $1. I don't know why.
Yeah, I
It was a
remember
good
that.
time.
He probably remembers that to this day.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Oh, he's like
He's
you
funny.
guys. I mean, he's just my little buddy.
We go.
And Patrick.
Dollar.
And then I remember like I tried to help him like get his license. I was like, dude, you can use my car for the test and everything. You know what it is. It's easy. But okay. That was strange. Yeah, so he's just like, nah, I'm not worried about it. Like all the time. I was like, okay. I mean, you sure? Like you use my car. It's no big deal. There's insurance. It works fine. Just,
I think we've all tried to convince him of it too. I think Errol even took him to there.
Yeah.
what are you gonna
Who knows when that guy's gonna.
I mean, he doesn't watch the podcast. He ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah. Patrick, you suck.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, Patrick's gonna beat Lane up someday.
Probably not. He's probably never gonna see
He's gonna
this.
drive out to Denver.
He's gonna walk his happy ass.
I was gonna say, wait, is it? Yeah, he'd
Hey,
have
the
to
man
drive.
can walk. Dude, we used to do a lot of that too, dude. We
And
used to
Mark, you
walk
should be
all around Sheffield.
worried too because he's a great swimmer. Yeah.
Damn it.
Damn it. Yeah.
But like I always thought he should get a bike or something too because he could. I mean, he could ride a motorcycle. I'd let him ride
No.
mine. My
A
dirt
little like
bike.
fucking Vespa. That's what he needs. Like a little. That's what Patrick needs. A little Vespa.
Even without a license, you can technically ride anything under 150 cc's.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, we should all like put in $100 to get Patrick a little Vespa.
I would do it.
I'll do it.
I'll 100% do it. You guys want to get this going?
I don't.
Yeah.
But
We'll
I
make
want
another
to, but
group
I-
chat without Patrick, and we'll get everybody.
What we have to do is we have to put a GoPro on there, so like it's technically our bike still, but we can still see what all his antics. Like I want to know the Patrick antics.
Singing SpongeBob on the way to work or something. I don't know. I want the Pat Cam.
You know he's gonna be in December driving that mother.
Pat Cam. Pat
They get
becomes
so
the
used
next
to it.
Ice Poseidon. That's what it would be.
I would do it. I just don't know if he would use it.
Oh, he would use it like a crazy.
He would use it all the time.
Think so?
Yeah. He would use
Then
it
let's-
in February, snowing
do it
5
then.
inches.
Let's honestly
Yeah,
do it.
dude.
I'll do it.
I'm down.
He'd buzz over to Walmart.
Yeah, to
buzz
help
up
out a
to
friend.
Dreams. Right.
He would take it from
Patrick would
Q1
find
debut to
something
just
easy to
zero.
do. We just got to make sure Patrick isn't like he's like, well, I've been drinking today, but it's only 6 beers before
20
noon. I bet I could drive to work.
Yeah. A 20-minute drive would take him like an hour. He'd be like, all right, be there in an hour. All right, dude.
Right.
Hey Patrick, where does scooter go? I need beer money.
Yeah, I needed beer money.
Beer money.
It's a week. It's a weekend.
It's Monday. You've had the bike 2 days. Yeah. We gave you beer as well. Wait a second here. This is awful.
Let's turn this more into just a joke. Like I honestly, we'd get Pat at 150. They're cheap on Facebook. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
we could definitely get like a used Vespa.
Yeah.
Make Harold fix it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
get Pat Cam.
I can't.
Yeah, we get the Pat Cam.
I have an
every once
extra
in a while.
GoPro I don't use.
Pat's night out.
You see everywhere. It's like putting a GoPro on a dog. Like the exact same thing. See where he goes.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
I
just
guarantee you, dude,
liquor
somebody
store,
would cut him
liquor store,
off.
liquor store.
It's
I just-
hanging on the bars of bag.
Does do GoPros do sound too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
I just know that like if we did this and he got cut off, you'd just be like, wee.
His first
Be
time
hilarious.
being cut off by someone in traffic.
Yeah.
Chases him down on the Vespa.
There's cussing him out.
French fries at him.
Maybe this is a bad idea because he would be the guy to have like a bag of rocks just to use for that situation.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just reaches in his pocket.
Or Patty would
Fuck.
be the guy that's like, how does this guy eat McDonald's 6 times a day? And then we'd all be worried about that too, right?
The guys at McDonald's are like, the guy on the Vespa's here again.
Exactly.
You know what he wants. Yeah.
Oh.
It's wild.
Yes, we'll get you those 6 double cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Today.
Fourth time today.
And a Diet Coke.
Here's the Vespa, the usual.
The usual.
Would he need? He would need insurance for that. Would he?
Below.
He
I
gets,
mean,
in,
I think you have to technically like ride inside. If you can't be in.
he gets in a wreck. He just runs away.
It's technically putting one of those little like 50cc things on a pedaling bicycle. It's the same thing. You have to have insurance for that.
Oh,
Try to be in the bike lane, you know?
He's got 5 stars on a vest.
Exactly.
Oh fuck.
Patrick's like, I was gonna buy a license plate, but it's just like cardboard with the numbers written on it with green crayon.
This
Oh, no,
gonna be
better
the
yet, he
first
just
podcast
cuts out
to
like a
watch.
logo.
Just get his ass getting roasted. Like
I hope he watches this now. Somebody's gonna tell him. Somebody's got to tell him. Stamp it. Time stamp it.
Yeah. This is it, Patrick.
This is it.
We love you though.
Heck
We
yeah.
love you.
oh, but if he watches it, he knows we'll get the Vespa.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Good. I'll do it.
I'll put in $100.
Yo,
Put it
good.
in our budget.
Don't check it out.
Throw in like Yeah, 150, something like that. Whatever it
We get
takes.
him like
Wait, better yet, guys. We should do a live stream to like raise the money.
Oh, that's even better. That's not a bad idea.
Ooh,
We'll get Patrick
ooh.
on.
We'll get some
we
like
gotta have
carnival
Patrick on
games.
first to introduce like, hey, this is
Right.
This is Patty. He
Yeah.
needs
Trust
a
Pat with
Vespa.
mic on a live stream.
You said
What?
Trust Pat with a live stream.
Yeah.
It might work out.
He's gonna offend everybody who will give $1. Like,
Good. That's what they'll pay for.
That's right.
He will be trashed before the live stream, I feel like. Which
We
is
get like
nothing wrong with that.
we get like $1,000 donation from his brothers, like, and this just in
Get him out of
from
the house. Fuck him.
Nick and Tim.
we get him.
$1,000. That's crazy.
We get him $1,500 to pull up with a 10-speed and whirl galley with the cash.
Yeah. Where did you guys get all that new equipment? I don't know. It's crazy.
Lane's in
But
a
yeah.
whole new studio. This is crazy.
Yeah, right. Fuck. But
Pretty wild.
I know. Wild.
But we could like
Well-
we could also just set up like some carnival games and like every $1 is an extra dart to pop these balloons, or like here's another baseball to throw at the dunk tank or something.
Patrick in a duck tank. That would be awesome.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
I thought you would do it.
Patrick would be the backboard for the balloons.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Have him
Now we're talking.
The balloons are on him.
Patrick's back.
Yeah, the balloons are stapled to his body, and you're supposed to throw darts to pop the balloon.
For $10, you get to staple it and throw the dart.
That's right.
Guys, I know a way to make Patrick a lot of money, and we're just going to have so many funny videos. This is going to be great. Oh, Lord.
Raises money.
He's
everywhere.
had 2 memes that were made about him that were like actually pretty popular.
Oh,
So, like,
really?
he has the potential. Yeah, there was one of him like going down a slide in the snow and getting stuck.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
his
right.
sister put it on a loop. It's like, that's my shit. And it just keeps falling down the slide. It's fucking hilarious.
That's wild.
He's got some meme popularity. I like that.
Meme potential. He's got it.
He just has that personality. Patrick's a really likable guy.
Yeah.
He's got everything.
Yeah.
That's like, he'd call me or like, he's like, I need a ride. And I was like, dude, I got you every time. Don't worry about it.
Right?
Oh, bro. Well, on top of that, now that let's get off Patrick. Everybody,
You guys-
hop off Patrick.
Yeah. Do you guys think that you guys know about the recent like stabbing shooting with the female?
I
No.
heard something
Yes,
about there was
that-
a lady that got shot because she had a knife or something.
Right. She ended up stabbing and killing the lady, unfortunately, but the cop was there to like, do what the cop is supposed to do. The cop shot because the lady was actively stabbing and getting a lot of backlash from it, but it's like, what do you think the cop has a gun for? What do you think he was called for? I guess they were arguing for a good hour or hour and a half, whatever. It got really heated. The lady who ended up being stabbed called the cops and was like, hey, I need you here ASAP, do something about it. A lot of backlash. Even LeBron James was like, you're next and shit. Like, but the cop was doing everything right. I'm not defending like cops or whatever, but I'm just like, what do you,
Sounds
at what
like it.
point do you, well, yeah, but like at what point do you realize like, because they're making it out to be like another hate crime, shit like that, like, Derek Chauvin, shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you
I don't
this. I don't know too much about it. I've just briefly heard about it. Yeah, having a weapon around a police officer, attacking somebody, all these things are this is bad. Like, you're not gonna have a
So-
good time. Like, this is how you get shot.
There's a satire account that 90% sure it's a satire account that he posted. It's not that hard to shoot a knife out of a gun, or it's not that hard to shoot a knife out of a hand. And like all these people are just going for it, like just roasting him. And I'm like, it's satire. Like, he's agreeing with you, but you don't understand it. Like,
Oh yeah.
So there's 3 things that a officer needs to be very cognizant of. It's called COI, right? COI, capability, opportunity, and intent. And all all three of those were present before using deadly force. You need to establish those. She had the capability. She had the knife. Opportunity. She was right next to her, and intent. They were at it for hours. So it's like, if you're really gonna turn it into a, political thing where, another cop shot a black person, it's like,
Oh, they're black.
all of the, yeah, I guess that matters, Mark. So yeah.
No, I didn't know. I honestly haven't looked that much into
Well, that's
it.
the thing.
Why I
They
was
want
like,
you to.
that's
they want
probably
you-
why people are
Well, that's
getting
it, yeah.
more upset.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's like the trigger word, right? It's like, oh, another black person shot. It's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like the way you told that actually, because you just left that out, which is good. Obviously,
That's
it's
what I
not actually important. And the situation, the whole time, I'm like, yeah, that person was stabbing someone. They should be stopped. It never mattered, you know.
It doesn't. I said
Maybe we just even it up. We
I
just
guess
start going
even
around
female.
shooting white people, and then nobody will care about anything.
It happens all the time. No one cares.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
It was
I mean,
actually
You guys just watch out. I'll be okay.
Did you guys see they arrested the wrong guy in the George Floyd stuff? Or it's a conspiracy?
it's Seth was telling me about this. I'm not sure I completely
I mean, if you
believe
want
it.
to look up George, what's his name? Derek Chauvin, and then just type in Derek Chauvin ear, and it will pop up.
Earlobes. They're different
So-
earlobes, I guess. I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, eh.
Earlobes they're as unique as your fingerprint. If you put your head up against glass, they can get an ear print and arrest you if they match your ear.
Really?
Your ears
Huh.
never change. And the guy who's arrested and the guy in the video has different ears.
I thought your earlobes like grow over time.
Well, this.
Oh, okay.
Top.
I see what you're talking about. The cartilage.
Yeah, the one guy's was flat, and one guy's was pointed.
Huh.
strange.
That seems a
Very
little weird.
strange.
Yeah.
What? You sure it's not like somebody else that was involved in the
No.
video?
They do side to side Derek Chauvin at the scene and Derek Chauvin being arrested or in the jumpsuit for his mugshot.
Hmm.
They were different ears.
Well,
Different ears.
it is pretty
Couldn't it have
interesting.
been like a different ear from like the other side of his head?
It wasn't very good.
Same
It
side,
was?
yeah. It was the same side, yeah. Also, I don't know anybody who's got like one ear that's different than the other, but that might be, it's probably possible.
Yeah,
Accidents
like
happen.
birth thing.
Yeah,
There's a lot
Shot
of
it
freaks
all.
out there.
right.
Or maybe he just wanted surgery to like look like an elf on one of his ears. I don't know.
But yeah,
Whatever
he's sentenced, right? He got
All
charged with all three.
charges,
Oh,
Yeah. which I honestly think it was more the jury was worried about the backlash afterwards. I think it was very politicized. It was very, the way it was broadcasted, it was like, this is the sudden showdown. What's going to happen? Is there going to be riots? Is there going to be this or that? But even if you look at like how everything went down, there's some conspiracy in that. The garbage can that was next to it all, it had 666 on it. I don't know if you guys want to look at that, but no, like I know I sound like a conspiracy nut, but really look into it. It's interesting.
I'll check it out. At the same time, though, I feel like a lot of these cases we try to get sentences like really fast, right, on these police officers. This one seemed like it did take a little bit more time, so maybe they got the right sentence and they actually charged them with the right thing. But I need to look more into it. Obviously, I can't be talking out my ass and be on the podcast acting ridiculous, right? But I think, yeah, like we just really need to look into the whole if these are the right charges, because obviously they're gonna try to have a retrial or what's the word I'm
Definitely.
looking for?
Oh, he had stuff written on his hands. Did you see that? It was his lawyer's numbers and all that.
Oh, yeah. See,
No,
he's
no.
gonna do everything over again. He's not to Like the case is not done. Obviously.
There's grounds for a mistrial because of how publicized it was, and what's her face, Maxine Waters, and even the president himself had said, like, basically, oh, if it doesn't come back guilty, raise hell, basically, shit like that. Like, so there's grounds for a mistrial because all of these people were sequated, right?
Acquitted?
Acquitted?
No. Sequated or sequated. It means like they basically they're in jury trial, while they're a jury, they can't watch the news. They're put on, like, it's not really house arrest, but it's more of like they can't communicate with the outside world. Sequestered, right? Sequestered. Yeah, it's sequestered. So it's interesting.
But how they can't get to the outside world, but can the outside world get to them? Because they were already talking about, like, they wanted the names of these people on the jury. Right. They wanted all these things. This was said. I remember this was said like a really long time ago. So I wonder, like, how much these people knew going into it. It's like you're not going to find anybody that wasn't following this or the riots afterwards that were caused by this, right? So
right. Yeah. And I mean, not even like before the case even was started and they were in court, we saw the absolute riots that were occurring due to it. So these people automatically, like, they knew, like, man, I don't want to, in this technological age, you can easily find people's information out, right? So, like, do you want to be one of the people that say not guilty and then deal with your family being targeted or anything like that? It's a very weird place to be in.
Yeah.
I think one good thing will come out of this, though, whether he I definitely don't think he's going to get away with anything, honestly, guys. He'll be lucky, like, if he doesn't get more time or some other sentence added onto it if he goes back to trial.
Right.
But yeah, I think one good thing is cops and civilians will look at this as a, it's not one-sided anymore like it used to be. It's not like one party has all the power and the interactions. Like, as a civilian, you can have your day in court, and I guess it's more pronounced. Like, you always have your day in court, blah, blah, blah. But, like, if you just go with the motions at the time, you'll definitely have your day in court.
Right, but is the outcome gonna be influenced?
That's true too.
His guilty on all charges. It's like, imagine being that guy in jail right now, filled with, like, criminals who, like, have probably, because they get TV, they understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
rumors spread. They're gonna be like,
believe it or not,
that's that fucking cop that killed, my boy or whatever. Like,
yeah.
No, fuck that. He's probably gonna be dead soon. Like, hate to say it, but, like,
he'll be in protective custody, which just means he'll be locked by himself in a cell until he rots away.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Jeffrey Epstein.
Just like
right?
I was just gonna say.
The cameras will be turned off and he'll hang himself.
Right. And no one's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell in her case. If Ghislaine Maxwell's case isn't publicized the same.
They just released a bunch of files or stuff about that, actually.
Yeah, I'll be looking at that sometime soon, and maybe bring it up on another episode here coming up. Yeah. Reading into those. At the same time, I'm like, do I really want to read into them? Because I don't want to hear about some nasty child abduction shit. Just like, that's just depressing.
It's important to expose.
Yeah, you're right.
Someone's got to do it. Who's going to do it?
Somebody's got to do it. Exactly, because nobody wants to, but somebody has to. Yeah. Word.
I suppose it falls onto us, boys.
The Bureau.
Yeah.
That's right.
There to make the hard decisions.
Did you guys hear about the mass shooting in Kenosha?
No. There was a shooting?
That's what they're calling it. Basically, a guy got kicked out of a bar, came back, and shot 3 people.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that's fucked up.
Yeah, pretty fucked up.
Well, like I keep sharing in the group chat. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Mark has like all of the shootings recently,
Yeah.
and it
There's
only
literally like one right
solidifies.
after the- one or two a day. You're sharing. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and it only solidifies basically like the narrative that I've been saying is going on is like sleeper cells, right? So
Yeah.
like people are, if you pull up the definition of a sleeper cell, they're attached to an organization which they only respond when given the order, and
Huh.
it's to influence, like purposely to influence. So it's like it's crazy that all of these, you know, shootings are occurring when there's a certain administration in office trying to push a certain anti-2I or anti-2A agenda.
There was another one I read though. I think they're going a little overboard with like calling them mass shootings because they wouldn't have called them mass shootings before. This one
Yeah.
where this man was in a car driving by a house and opened fire on like 6 people in the front yard. I don't
Oh,
think
so
anybody
Chicago
actually
on a weekend,
exactly.
drive-bys.
They're calling it a mass shooting. I think he hit like 3 people or 2 people, and he didn't kill anybody, thank God. But they're calling that a mass shooting, and it's like that's a drive-by. Like, come
Right.
on,
Yeah.
we don't need to be like mixing up our words just because it's like now, right? Just because of the headlines that need to pop right now, right?
Right.
Right.
Could you imagine if they did every single drive-by in Chicago every time it happens? Could you believe that? Like,
Yeah,
Then like if it happened like that, people would be calling like, well, what is all this crime? Like, why is there so much crime in the inner city? Like, like every single time, and it would kind of brighten the eye of like, well, all of these shootings happen in a gun-free area. Like, all of these shootings happen in the city where there's limited, like there's strict gun laws. It's like they don't want that to happen, but when a King Supers in Boulder gets shot up, which also is a very gun-free zone. They'll publicize that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just man, if they're really worried, they would report on the inner city crimes that are occurring all the time.
$1 million idea. You literally every city has a news channel. Call it, I don't know, shooting awareness news. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You will never run out of content. You will constantly be on the air. It'll be like a 24/7 kind of thing. And all
Right.
you do is report on every single shooting that happens.
It would be like,
Well-
this just in. This just in. Hold on, we got 3 stories back up. This just in. This just in.
Well,
The south side of Chicago. South side of Chicago. Yeah.
A lot of these shootings are places where cops won't go in, and it's for a reason. Like if they get calls, it's in and out, and they go with a SWAT team.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
don't patrol. They don't do domestics. Sometimes they'll just deny them. And I've talked to some people who are on those types of forces in areas that they can deny a call for lack of officers. If it's a domestic and things are going down without shots fired, they might not go.
Right.
They won't want to go into an area because they're not wanted in that area. It's more trouble if they go in that area. There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And then that breeds more of this crime and I don't know, lack of safety in that same area.
That's
So,
because they know the police won't come. Gives them a certain,
Exactly.
like freedom, you know.
I used to go to
They're
this
canceled out.
back in college. I used to go to this little place and get coffee, and there was it was owned by a retired police officer, and he talked about he was in St. Louis, and he's talking about how like you had one person in the car with you because you had to drive through these neighborhoods because it was required every 30 minutes you have to drive down this road or whatever one time, and you drive as fast as you can and you just get it done. And sometimes your car will get shot at, especially if it's later at night. And so one police officer would be in the passenger seat. And I need to learn how to talk. One police officer would be in the passenger seat with a gun, locked and loaded, with a shotgun, I think it was, or something like that. He said, and then he would be driving, and his focus was driving the car out of that area at all costs. Like, and that's just how it worked. And there would be constant crime. God damn my phone. There'd be constant crime in that area. There'd be constant gunfire. Like you just wouldn't go in there, and it just bred more and more of this ridiculous environment. And I don't know how are we gonna fix that. You know, we're gonna get police officers in there that care about the community, that work with the community, and people that want to see police officers and not be, you know, afraid that they're gonna get shot, afraid that, you know, their uncle or aunt's gonna go to fucking prison, or, you know, for what they're doing. We need our police officers to build more of a rapport with the community, for one, and then for two, like, maybe our community needs to actually care about our police officers too.
I think you're right. It's definitely a problem on both sides.
Yeah.
Well, it's divide and conquer, right? And
Yeah.
each, you know, you look at like where these places are located. It's very, you know, there's a liquor store in every corner. There's a gun store in every corner. It's just like Boys in the Hood. Like he talks about, you know, they want them to kill each other. You know, it's very. And anymore, it's you can see the shift of the divide and conquer agenda because we're seeing more like, oh, this police officer shot a black guy. It's like, well, no shit. Like, look at what was going on. It's like, why are you publicizing? Like, why are you making this so exacerbated where it's it's almost like a no-brainer. But the way that they publicize it, it's makes people emotional. And people, when you get people's emotions, like the news, then it, you know, that's what they want. That's what they feed off of. More clicks, more bait. Mm-hmm. And it just drives the narrative even further and deeper into your subconscious to the point where, you know, you look down the road and, you know, see a person of color up to no good. It's like, oh, the news. He's probably going to get shot or something, you know. So they just force this shit down your throat so much that it's hitting your subconscious and you don't even know it. Or you do know it. I don't know.
You do know it, you're not caring.
And to go off that, is playing kind of devil's advocate for the military. Like Lane knows this. There's rules of engagement. If they're not actively shooting you, you can't shoot them. And there is so many investigations when we first invaded Fallujah in Iraq. There was so many headshots on the enemy that they did an investigation on every single one. Well, it's because that's what they were only showing. So that's why they got headshots. But they did investigations to every single one. And if you do a bad shoot in uniform overseas, you're most likely going to Leavenworth. Like, other than an acquitted friendly fire and a real firefight, if you do a bad shoot, you're going to Leavenworth. And the laws here in the United States, I think there's, impunity or whatever it's called. I'm playing the devil's advocate and saying that a little bit of that needs to go away. Like, the impunity needs to go away. If a cop does something wrong, he needs to be accountable. And also vice versa, there's problems the cops can't deal with without getting backlash.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, we need more accountability then in our police force. I think everybody can agree with that. I think good cops can agree with that as well. You know, like 100%. The good cops don't want those bad cops out there either. You know, they don't want them tarnishing the name of the entire police department, because one bad cop can, you know, ruin the reputation of several. And I mean, we've talked about this before at like great lengths. And our conclusion was we just need better cops. We just need
training.
Better training. We need more money invested into law enforcement so that they can have better training. Maybe they make better pay, and they don't want to be crooked cops because they don't want to mess up their pension. They don't want to mess up their, you know, $40,000 a year and all this stuff. Whoa, that was weird. Sorry about that, everybody. We had some technical difficulties. I think we lost some footage. I don't know what just happened, but conversation was all right. Whatever. And Lane has brought to our attention, it's some holiday or some day going on right now.
Seth could explain it a little better.
So, like, I'm one of the people that's on TikTok. and it shows what you like. Like a video you like will pop up more often. So I like anonymous videos, like the hacker anonymous, and I like this one guy who exposes bullies, like who hide behind a keyboard. He exposes their real name and says what they say, and just emails their family, their work job. Like it's kind of cancel culture. But what the people he picks and chooses. What the people say, they deserve to be outed. Like even coming from like a right standpoint.
Is
I
it
know
like
that kind of talk.
trolling? Like
It's not so
he's
much
getting back
trolling.
at
It's
trolls?
like people have mental issues, and like they're just posting fun videos. They'll post something like morbid, and like it's just like it's not even making fun of them. It's like morbid, and like it just shouldn't be on. Shouldn't say that, no matter if you're hiding behind a keyboard or not.
I see.
And it's so I like that kind of stuff. And what's been popping up on my feed is people being outed for putting on masks and saying and promoting April 24th as being National Rape Day. And I thought it was a joke. And then you can't really find anything online until you scroll down and it says like online April 24th, National Rape Day. And then it's kind of like it's a real thing. People are actually taking it seriously. Like in the 200 million people in America, I'm guessing at least 1,000 people, radicals, are taking it seriously. So I mean, you got to be on your toes.
Taking it seriously, as in, like, going to do it.
Yeah, going to do it. Like that's what, and I've been having a funny feeling about it, and I don't know where that stem comes from, but I've been having a funny feeling about it. It's more and more of it. It's been popping up on my feed about these people being outed, people making new users, new accounts, and wearing full masks, and Anonymous is outing them, saying and telling their work, telling their family, and like just watch out for people. And it's a weird day though. I think it might have been started as a troll post, but the radicals have weaponized it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I actually heard something on the radio about this the other day, and my first thought was like, so people are like designating a day to just go do this heinous crime. Like, my first thought was like, has Purge, like the Purge franchise, like kind of prompted this in a way?
Maybe, dude. There's no telling. It's a crazy world we live in, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it just fucking is. And being in Denver, I'm not taking any precaution, or I'm taking all precautions. So.
I mean, I live by an old adage. I can't remember where I heard it first. Can't remember how you know how ancient this mantra could be, but it's very simple. It goes like this: stay strapped or get clapped. Works out. It works out most of the time.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah, you know those door stoppers with the springs? My cat is playing with one right now, so that's what.
Dude, my neighbor, like in this direction from where I'm currently sitting, has like a kid or a cat or something that loves to do the same freaking thing. I'll hear it through the wall.
She loves it.
Nala.
Oh Jesus.
Nala, no.
Well,
Get the cat.
we'll let you mute the microphone real quick so that Jed can tell us a little bit something nicer on our way out today. You know, because we do not want anybody. If you're a rapist, don't even watch our show. Get the fuck out of here.
No, watch our show, and you know what? We're strapped, so you know what? Try some shit.
No, you know, better yet, no. Watch our show, learn the error of your ways, and, you know, improve yourself. Become a better person.
Fuck you.
I agree with that, Jed.
Also, maybe chemical castration should be what you do because
No, not chemical castration. Rusty
That
blade
fucking
castration.
cat.
Like rusty blade hanging from the rafters castration. No chemical, that's too nice. There's no pain. Rusty blade, no anesthetic. If you die, you die.
well, I mean, then again, like they're choosing to do this in recompense for their past sins. Maybe, you know, we have to spread that positivity, remember?
No. If you rape
I do agree. They need to be punished.
rapists and
Anyway,
child
moving on.
offenders.
Moving on to greener pastures, boys. Something funny. So, last episode, I touched on an April Fool's prank, and I didn't have all the details right. I messed it up big time. And as I was reading more into it, I discovered what a gem this is, and I didn't want to pass up this opportunity to bring people's attention to it because it's a hoot and a half. So it was actually Mount Edgecumbe in Sitka, Alaska. And this is I found a nice article online that talks about it. I'm just going to read one little
Sitka,
line.
Alaska, like where they have the Sitka salmon and all that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the
okay.
place. So this is just one line from that in no particular spot, really. On April 1st, 1974, a clear, beautiful morning, Porky Oliver Picard of Sitka woke up early to see Mount Edgecumbe through the window in all its glory. Porky whispered to his wife, Patty, "This is it. We've got to do it today." Patty smiled sweetly, kissed Porky on the forehead, and said, "Don't make an ass of yourself." And then basically he called up a couple of his buddies with like a helicopter and a junkyard, got a bunch of old tires, diesel fuel, old rags, that kind of shit. And they take like 2-3 trips to dump all this stuff in the top of this like dormant volcano. And then they light it on fire and they spell out April Fools. Or, April Fool. Just April Fool. Now, I originally said that like he evacuated a bunch of people. That was an exaggeration for like that prison scenario we were going for. Nobody was evacuated because he actually called ahead to a bunch of like fire departments and people like that to let them know that this was just a prank. He forgot to call the Coast Guard, and they were like, "Hey, what the heck is going on?" But yeah, apparently he was like involved with the like one of the guys that he had helping him was like in the FAA like flight tower at the airport. So I don't know, man. He's got some serious connections. But yeah, 1974. This guy, one of the best April Fool's pranks ever. Bunch of tires on a dormant volcano. Fucking crazy.
Is that a different story?
I'm sorry, what?
Didn't it spread and like he got in trouble, or is that a different story?
I think that's a different story.
Okay.
This was like it's like a snow-capped mountain. There's like nothing for it to spread to.
Oh well.
I'm thinking of a different story then. Yeah, that's a good prank.
This is a great prank, dude.
He had to contact so many people for that prank. It's like
yeah,
he pranked like what 50 people by that point, so half the population of Alaska. It seems like.
No, that's probably. I think there's a couple hundred people in
I'm
Sitka.
sure Lane will give us the details on that one.
Yeah.
We'll get a hold of Lane. He'll be like, "Oh my god," and then he'll talk 30 minutes about salmon, and then he'll just have like a little segment about that.
Right.
The guy knows his Alaska. He just
Google man.
Google man.
Have
There
you
we
gotten
go.
the queue yet?
Yes, he has. Hey, you're supposed to try that tonight.
I
When
think,
we
I
have
think
him
we're
on,
gonna hit that hard on the next episode. I'm gonna get a hold of Lane, and he's gonna show everybody what it do. Home slice.
What did you do?
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for joining us today on the Gentleman's Bureau. I'm Jed. That's Mark. That's Lane, and we had our guest today, Seth Cambron, all the way from our home, back in Illinois. Our roots.
That's right.
Anyway, am I forgetting anything, guys?
No, that's bueno.
That's a
Comment.
show.
It's a show.
It's a show, folks.
But like, comment, subscribe. I'm serious.
Be serious, folks.
Share it. We need more
Share
people
it.
to hop on here. We want to address the masses about funny shit and serious.
Especially National Rape Day, which I would have known last week, so I could have kind of made people aware of that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this video won't be posted until afterwards, so hopefully, you've kept, protect this house. Hopefully you guys have kept your houses safe and taking the right precautions.
Yeah, because anything can happen any day.
That's right. So Seth, thanks for joining us today, and
Thank you for having me.
we're gonna have you back on for sure. Who knows?
Talk
when?
about nicer things. Maybe
So, thanks.
we'll just talk about guns or something really cool.
Yeah.
You'll get banned if I show all my guns.
Yeah, Yeah. You know, Mark, you'll have to fly back. I'll come down. Lane will come back to Bureau County. We'll all just go shooting for a day.
That's right.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's right. All right, guys. Thanks
Love,
again.
peace, and chicken grease.
Love, peace, and chicken grease. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.